What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Dracotail deck profile. So I'm really excited to do something for you guys because this deck is an extremely powerful fusion deck that's one of the most powerful decks to play this format. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Yugioh. This card is definitely a 3 of in the build, as this card is actually the Stratos of the deck, with a really cool bonus effect, and then this card is sent to the graveyard as a material for a fusion summon. You get to set a Dracotail spell or trap directly from your deck, basically getting to the exact cards that we need. We then play 3 copies of Femina. Femina is great to be able to use because this card is actually a polymerization, with the ability that during the main phase, quick effect, you can actually discard this card to fusion summon a dragon or a spellcaster fusion monster from your extract, using monsters from your hand or field, which is a crazy powerful effect. We then play 3 copies of Malulu. Malulu is extremely helpful in this deck. This card is actually a walking polymerization, because during the main phase, quick effect, you can actually fusion summon a Dracotail fusion monster from your extract using monsters from your hand or field. Also, you cannot special summon the extract for the rest turn except for fusion monsters. And this card is sent to the graveyard as a material for a fusion summon. You can actually set a Dracotail spell or trap card directly from your deck, then negate the effect of one face-up monster that your opponent controls, which is a crazy powerful effect. We then play 2 copies of Pan. Pan is really helpful in the deck as a 2 of, because this card is an awesome effect that if it's sent to the graveyard as a material for a fusion summon, you get to set a Dracotail spell trap in the deck, then destroy a monster on the field, non-targeting. This card also has the ability if a face-up fusion monster you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, while this card's in the graveyard, you can place this card on the bottom of the deck, and if you get to special summon a non-fusion Dracotail monster in the graveyard, which is a pretty cool ability to be able to use. We then play 2 copies of Agula. This card is really cool as a 2 of in the deck and helps out so much in the build. As this card is sent to the graveyard as a material for a fusion summon, you can actually set a Dracotail spell or trap directly in your deck, then destroy a spell or trap on the field, non-targeting. And then this card is in the graveyard, you can actually target a spellcaster Dracotail monster in the graveyard, place this card on the bottom of the deck, and if you get to add that monster back to your hand, which is a great ability to help us get to a copy of Femina or a copy of Yugioh. We then play 3 copies of King of the Swamps. King of the Swamps is really powerful in the deck as a 3 of to basically just help us use this card as a fusion substitute monster, because we have some very spicy fusion monsters in the extract so you can actually go into using this card. Plus, it searches polymerization by actually discarding this card, which is really cool. We then play 3 copies of Kashtira Fenrir. Fenrir helps out so much in the deck because this card is an awesome ability. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. It lets you just spar move cards off the field, and it can search another copy of this card directly from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability to be able to use. So we can basically use the extra Fenrir in our hand to step into a fusion play. We then play a single copy of Bestial Magnemite. Magnemite is very helpful in the deck as a 1-0 because it actually lets you target a light or dark monster in either player's graveyard and banish it. And if you do, you get to special summon this card in your hand. It's a quick effect if your opponent controls a monster. And if it's special summon, you can activate this effect that during the end phase this turn, you get to add a dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is a great ability to basically grab any of our Dracotail dragon monsters, which is super cool. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom helps out a lot in the build to basically just stop the opponent from touching the deck. We then also play 3 copies of Mulcharmy Fluros. Fluros helps out a lot to help us dig into the deck for the exact cards that we need. We then play 3 copies of Nibiru. Nibiru is awesome in the build to basically just use this card to break our opponent's board or to use it as a fusion material just in case we need to. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is very helpful in the deck as a 1-0 to basically just stop our opponent's hand traps where we're going in for all of our plays. We then play a single copy of Triple Tactics Talent. Triple Tactics Talent helps out a lot in this build to basically just use this card to draw 2 cards, take control of an opponent's monster until the end of the turn, or look at our opponent's hand and choose a card from him and shuffle it into the deck. We play a single copy of Polymerization. Polymerization helps out a lot in the build to basically just use this card to fusion some, but it's also searchable of King of the Swamps, which is why you only need a single copy in the build. We then play 3 copies of Kintu. Kintu is basically a broken Rhoda in the deck that has the ability to let us add a Dracotail monster from your deck to your hand. Then if your opponent controls a monster, you also get to fusion summon a dragon or a spellcaster monster in the extra deck using monsters from your hand or field, which is such a powerful ability to instantly go in to grab the exact card we need and then also be able to fusion summon. We then play 3 copies of Rahu. Rahu is really powerful in the deck and basically branded fusion. This card is able to let us fusion summon a Dracotail monster from the extra deck using monsters from our hand, deck, or field. Also, for the rest of this turn, add this card results, you cannot special summon the extra deck except for fusion monsters, and you only activate 1 of this card per turn. This card is absolutely broken. Just help us fusion summon the exact card that we need, and basically another copy of branded fusion. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing a single copy of Horn. Horn is really good as a 1-of in the build to let us actually target an attack switch monster on the field and return it back to the hand, or the X deck. Then you get to place a Dracotail card from your graveyard or banishment on the bottom of the deck, accept another copy of this card, then draw a card, which is a really powerful ability to be able to use, especially since the majority of our monsters can just instantly set this card to our side of the field. And play a single copy of Flame. Flame is great to be able to play in the deck as well because this card actually lets us target a face-up spell on the field and negate its effects until the end of this turn. Then you get to place a Dracotail card from the graveyard or banishment on the bottom of the deck, accept a copy of this card, and draw a card, which is a great effect. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start with 3 copies of our big boss monster, Artheron. This card is absolutely broken, with the ability that you can actually just use a Dracotail monster plus 1 monster in your hand, which is a really cool ability that you can put multiple materials into this card. With the ability in this card is fusion summon, you can actually target monsters on the field and or graveyards up to the number of monsters used as a material and basically put them back in the hand, which is a really cool effect to instantly grab the exact cards that you need out of the graveyard or bounce cards off the field, depending on the amount of materials that you use from your hand to make this card. And if 2 or more monsters are sent to the graveyard at the same time, one of this card's in the graveyard except during the damage step, you can special summon this card but banish when it leaves the field, which is a pretty cool ability to be able to use. We then play 2 copies of Gulamel. This card is really cool as a 2-of in the deck because when you activate a Dracotail card or effect, quick effect, you can target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it, and if 2 or more monsters are sent to the graveyard at the same time while this card's in the grave, you can actually special summon this card but banish when it leaves the field, and this card just requires a Dracotail monster plus a monster in the hand. We then make a single copy of Sekrion. This card is really cool as a 1-of in the deck to be able to make, as this card is just super cool because it actually requires a dragon and a spellcaster monster to make this card, and this card is ability, this card loses 100 attack for each of your banished cards. Also, while you control this fusion summon card, your opponent cannot activate the effects of special summon dragon or spellcaster monsters they control, and also target a dragon and a spellcaster monster in your graveyard, special summon one of them and place the other on the bottom of the deck, which is a great ability to help us recycle our resources, which is so cool. We then play a single copy of Mysterion. This card is really cool as a 1-of as well, and just an awesome card to be able to make, as it cannot be used as a fusion material, and this card loses 100 attack for each of your banished cards, and if a monster uses it, or if a monster uses its activated effect to special summon itself, or a monster with the same original type except during the damage step, you can actually target one of those special summon monsters and banish that monster. Also, banish all monsters monsters on the field with the same original type, which is a pretty broken ability to be able to use. This card is just really cool to one of, as it's actually an awesome card that just requires any spellcaster monster plus any dragon to make this card. We made a single copy of Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. This card is awesome to be able to make, so you play King of the Swamp in the deck, so you can actually use King of the Swamp as a Blue Eyes White Dragon, plus any dragon monster to make this card, and this card can actually attack all of your opponent's monsters once each, and it helps you recycle your trap cards, which is super cool. We lay a single copy of Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon is absolutely amazing that you can actually play this card in the deck. This card is a walking negate, cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects, and it's just an awesome boss monster to be able to make, as it just requires a copy of King of the Swamp plus any dragon effect monster to make this card, making it a definite one-of in the build. We lay a single copy of Guardian Chimera. Guardian Chimera is so cool to be able to make in this deck, because this card helps us either draw 2 cards and pop a card, or pop 2 cards and draw a card, which is so cool to be able to use in this deck. It just basically helps us go in for game. We make a single copy of Typhon. Typhon's great in the build to basically use this card as a skill drain for 3,000 hour attack with monsters and a bounce. We make a single copy of SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight is awesome. Basically use this card as a double interruption, and also it's just a really good option in the build. We have a single copy of Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep is awesome because we are playing a fusion deck, so this card can actually bring back one of our level 4 lower monsters in the graveyard back to our side of the field, which helps us out a lot in this deck. We have a single copy of Hieratic Seals. Hieratic Seals is awesome to be able to use to basically just bounce cards off the field, while also bringing out dragon monsters to our side of the field. We have a single copy of Spirit with Eyes of Blue. This card is great to be able to use in the deck as a one-of, and just an awesome combo piece overall in the deck. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Dracotail deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try, as it's so fun to be able to play, and it's insane how powerful this deck actually is to basically just summon out a bunch of really cool fusion monsters and go in for game. So, that's good for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can come part of notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.